A late-night joke, a bombshell report, and now a $250 million legal battle. Jimmy Kimmel has taken aim at FBI Director Kash Patel after explosive allegations surfaced in a report by The Atlantic. But Patel isn't laughing. According to The Atlantic, concerns were raised about Patel's conduct, including allegations of excessive drinking and erratic behavior. The report cited multiple unnamed sources and described incidents that raised internal alarm. One widely discussed claim suggests Patel believed he had been fired after losing access to his email account, prompting urgent calls to aides. The issue was later attributed to an IT problem.
Now, although Patel, along with the White House and the U.S. Department of Justice, has denied the allegations, and a lawsuit has been filed against The Atlantic following the bombshell reporting, this hasn't stopped late-night comedy from drawing aim at the FBI boss.
On his show, Jimmy Kimmel seized on the report, mocking Patel's reaction and framing it as panic. He also referenced the broader allegations in a series of jokes, amplifying the controversy across social media. The segment quickly gained traction, blending satire with ongoing political headlines. On his show, Kimmel mocked the situation. At one point, he quipped that even elite units might be needed for a wellness check, drawing laughter from his audience. Kimmel went further, speculating humorously about Patel's future in the role. The comedian mocked Patel as the soon-to-be former FBI director. The late-night host quipped that the FBI chief was deeply concerned he'd be fired, to the point that he had a meltdown about being locked out of his email account on April 10. Meanwhile, Patel's feud with The Atlantic hasn't stayed in the realm of comedy. He has now filed a $250 million lawsuit against the publication and the reporter who wrote the bombshell piece. In his statement, he called the report false and defamatory, promising to challenge it in court. His legal team described the article as a malicious hit piece. The Atlantic has stood firm. In response, the publication said it stands by its reporting and will defend its journalists against the lawsuit. This sets up a high-stakes legal and media battle, with credibility on both sides under scrutiny. For now, the facts remain contested. The allegations have been denied, the reporting is being defended, and the courts may ultimately decide what comes next. But one thing is clear, this story is far from over.
A massive controversy is erupting in Washington as Kash Patel, director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, threatens legal action against The Atlantic over what he calls a categorically false and defamatory report. The explosive article alleges that Patel's leadership has been affected by what it describes as repeated bouts of excessive drinking, a claim he has outright rejected. According to reporting by Sarah Fitzpatrick in The Atlantic, unnamed sources claim Patel's alleged conspicuous inebriation and unexplained absences had raised alarm within both the FBI and the Justice Department. The report even details an extraordinary allegation that in one instance, his security team considered using breaching equipment to access a locked room. But Kash Patel fired back strongly within the report itself, saying, "Print it, all false, I'll see you in court, bring your checkbook." His response signals not just denial, but a readiness for a full-scale legal confrontation, escalating what is already becoming a major media and political flashpoint. Kash Patel's attorney, Binnel, reinforced that stance, stating as shared on X that most of the claims were false, unsourced, and facially defamatory. Binnel argued that the story relied heavily on vague attributions like people familiar with the matter, and insisted that no credible evidence supports the more sensational allegations. He specifically pushed back on the breaching equipment claim, calling it completely unverified and potentially fabricated. Binnel argued that a basic pre-publication check with the FBI could have disproven several of the report's key assertions, raising serious questions about journalistic standards. Meanwhile, Kash Patel's communications strategist Erica Knight escalated the counterattack, claiming that multiple credible Washington reporters had pursued the story, but ultimately dropped it due to lack of verifiable evidence. She accused the publication of pushing forward with unverified claims that others refused to print.
Erica Knight also mocked specific elements of the article, including what she described as trivial or exaggerated details, and reiterated that there were no named witnesses backing the intoxication claims. Her comments added fuel to an already intensifying narrative of media credibility under scrutiny. Despite the backlash, Sarah Fitzpatrick stood firm in an interview, maintaining confidence in her reporting and sources. The Atlantic, under editor Jeffrey Goldberg, has not backed down, setting the stage for a potentially explosive legal and reputational battle. As tensions rise, the situation is rapidly evolving into a broader clash between the media and one of the most powerful law enforcement figures in the United States. The outcome could have serious implications, not just for those involved, but for how investigative reporting is conducted and challenged at the highest levels.